Welcome to 3C 2A Women's Soccer here on SportsNetUSA.net. That's right, we're down at Saddleback College. We're the number one team in power rankings. The number one team should be in the normal rankings. Your Saddleback Bobcats are just tearing everything up. You look at the Bobcats right now, 6-0-3 in conference, 11-1-3 overall. And who's chasing them? Well, the other team I said would be in the state championships, Cypress College, 6-3 this season, 12-4 overall. Orange Coast is in between them, sitting there at 5-1-3. Santiago Canyon at 5-1-2, right behind Cypress. So what's it say? The best conference in California and in the nation comes here in Southern California in the OEC for these women who play the game of soccer. I tell you what, these women show you how to play the game, and many times, if you've seen a lot of the men play this season, they should be taking lessons. Right now, Folsom Lake in Northern California is number one in the rankings, but they're not number one in the power rankings. That's Saddleback. San Francisco in Northern California is number 2 in the power rankings. Sierra, number 3 in the power rankings. Then Folsom Lake. So, however you wish to look at this, you could say Saddleback's the best in the state, or you can roll over and say Folsom Lake's got the best overall record in the state, but has not played the teams that Saddleback has played. I'm partial. I'm a Southern California boy. So I'm going to say the best team in the nation is the one here at Saddleback College, followed by the team across the way, Cypress College. Well, we'll see it today. Even if Cypress were to win this match today, you look at the standings right now in the OEC, that would make Saddleback 6-1-3, Cypress 7-3. Times are running out. The playoffs aren't far away, and if you're going to do it, you've got to do it today. Saddleback can sort of cement everything if the women, under the tutelage by BJ, can win this match today. They'll sort of seal the deal here in the OEC, and it will set them up very nicely for the playoffs in the southern section, which will allow them to get to the championship in California. I know I'm going down the future a lot and already giving them wins here today and wins when the southern section starts in playoffs. But when you watch this team, well, I tell you what, it's the best. That's the best way to put it. Holiday will be out there. Allen, Arce, Franco, Saeed, Biller, Pernat, Embry, McKenna Pugh, Lexi Evlo, and Macy Pugh, where you look at Macy Pugh, goal against this season, 0.85. Save percentage, 791. It's a familiar team. Emily Penaloza will be in goal for Cypress Chargers. She's a good one, too, with Alexa Green, Jessica Vincent, Naomi Lee, Elisa Kangas, who I just think is an outstanding player, Luna Kazem, Brizelda Tellez, Amelia Perez, Jasmine De La Torre, Peyton Dunbar, who is basically going to be my defender of the year, Joey Duong, and that's it for this Cypress Charger team. That's what they've got going on. You look at BJ, it looks like he's playing a 4-4-2 in his setup today, but that really is a very aggressive offensive setup. Cypress in all gray today. These are new outfits that I have not seen before. As Saddleback makes a run to go down the far side, everybody's sort of going to the edge, trying to pick it up along the way. Just goes out quickly off of McKenna Pugh. Throw in for Cypress on the far side of the field. And these two teams do play physical soccer when they play each other. We'll see if the referees and the lines people pull out those little yellow cards along the way. We know they like to allow people to play a little more physical than they have in the past. And we'll see if that happens today. Once again, Saddleback wants to outrun before we get a trip. No call. As Saeed goes down, they finally do. And say, okay. As she gets her shoe back on. And we'll see. No card. I thought the referee was going to walk over. Doesn't. She gets her shoe back on. And so your Bobcats set up again. It looks like this is going to be outrun the opponent today for BJ's team. Go down the far side. Taken back in the middle. Nice little stop right there, and you like it off the foot. Going towards the edge, keeping it at, taking it down. It's going to travel. It's a foot race, and once again, trying to get in the box, keeping it in, turning on the far side. Double team over there, looking for a little room. And again, it's going to come down to the defense. Nice in the middle, going up. Easy little catch by Penaloza. She is an excellent goalie with some wonderful numbers out there. She's in the bright yellow kit for your Saddleback Bobcats. Your goalie is in the bright pink kit down at the end. Beautiful day for this match here at Saddleback College. And again, we're going to get a bump from behind, so it's going to get called. Keep your eye on Peyton Dunbar, defender for this Cypress team. She's a defender that will go up and play forward at the same time. So she'll race up and down the field. Jasmine De La Torre is also a midfielder defender. Two people you may want to keep your eyes on. De La Torre's got 13 points, 6 goals, and 1 assist for the Cypress Chargers so far this season. Almost a handball, not called. Inadvertent handballs usually are not called. As when Saddleback picks it up in the middle, that was Kazem, who is another one that you have to watch. Even though she's a forward, she's got 12 points already with 5 goals. Diversity is the name of the team when you look at these Bobcats. They spread it out all over, and they step up. Once again, ball goes to Luna Kazem. She gets it down, trying to find somebody. Little turn defensively. As we're going to get a goal kick. And they were really hoping that there might be a corner for them, but that doesn't happen. So Emily Perez gets it for your Chargers. Take it up. Trying to get it out over to Jasmine De La Torre. Doesn't get there. De La Torre, again, I've already brought up the fact that she's got 6 goals, 1 assist for this season. Goes back to the Bobcats, who are in their traditional colors here at home. Like I said, new uniforms for Cypress, all gray, so that seems to be becoming the fashionable color, or maybe they're light blue, but I'm going to say from up here with an old man's eyes, they look gray to me. And when you watch BJ's team, you can watch them get back defensively. You see Cypress on the attack. There are 7 people back defensively. So you watch his midfielders drop back. Like I said, it looked like he was starting with a 4-4-2 on the attack. Penaloza just not knowing where to go. And it's, you know, you could see the player from the Bobcats down in the box. No foul. Inadvertent contact. Nothing should be whistled. Yeah, if you lay there long enough, you'll get a tan. But you won't get a red card, nor will you get a penalty kick. Throw in for the Bobcats. And this game will be determined, how cliche is this, by who starts are hot. If they're all lukewarm, Penaloza right there, shot on goal. Penaloza in the right place, in the middle to make the stop. But it really does come down to who can get off really, really fast. I think you need to get that 1-0 score in the first half. And this is a Saddleback team that does not like to play from behind and normally does not. We've watched Cypress a couple times in their losses. Irvine Valley outran them when they played them at home. And what you'll see from Cypress, if you start getting physical, they will become more physical than you on the pitch. Deep kick into the corner, just going to let it go out and be a goal kick. So that's what you look for sometimes when you track the ball down. Nobody's around. You'll take that ball that just rolls out. So you look out on top is Kazam along with Jasmine De La Torre, who's a midfielder defender, but they actually have her in a forward position. There was no whistle. Everybody thought there should be a whistle and just off the edge. So everybody stopped because a player went down. Nothing was blown. The players need to realize the old adage, you play till you hear the whistle, and this is where Cypress has decided we'll make a substitution early in this game. BJ's got a plethora of players when you look at what he's got for his team. You will hear many familiar names, just not maybe 10 or 12. You'll hear the whole roster today, even if he makes a change in the box and gets a new goaltender in there. Little mustering going down as Holiday tried to get things going for the Bobcats. Can't. She loses the ball. Trying to get it down to Kazem for Cypress. Luna right on the back heels. That should go out. Should be a goal kick for your Bobcats. Just started this one. About 9 minutes have gone by. No real threats by either team in this so far. Yet you can watch the way they set up, and you'll watch the way they may change. Watch the lines when you watch this. And what BJ does when you watch the defense, you'll see the lines crisscrossing on this very beautiful field for the game of football, as soccer, the other football, plays here, the one we're watching today. But watch the defensive lines that your Bobcats will set up. They won't be straight across. They will be at an angle, and they will be angles of 3 when you watch them to maximize taking away space from Cypress College. 2-on-1. Cypress, once again, trying to control things. And that should be a throw-in for your Chargers. Perez will throw it in here on the near side of the field. Deep throw in for Perez. Trying to get it out there. Trying to get it to Kazam. Maybe to De La Torres. Couldn't do it. Comes back. And as you can hear the crowd saying, hey, you need to help. Cypress just going to take it up and out, which is one of the standard things you do in the game of soccer. And you go down there, a little shove from behind. And there's the physicality we were talking about. As Carissa Franco, the defender, just steps in the way for Saddleback. 11 minutes gone by. Move, sidestep, trying to make a move down there. That was McKenna Pugh. So Cypress trying to play defense, and now Saddleback is going to get their first corner kick. Keep your eye on McKenna Pugh so far this season. 4 goals, 2 assists, got 10 points for the Bobcats. Short play, back to the corner, then up and over, punched out on a nice play, but we had offsides called on that, so therefore the play was stopped. And you really like what Emily does. She uses her physicality as a tender. She knows she's a little more physical than other tenders out there, as Cypress quickly says, let's make a run down the field. Haven't really been on the attack. Vincent takes it across the middle, back to Vincent. Vincent has a come off her foot for your Chargers, and now it's that physical aspect that we talk. Bump stays in with the Chargers. Perez will throw it in. So Purvis is now on the field. You look at Purvis with 9 points. She had 4 goals, 1 assist. And we're going to get another substitution. So Cypress is changing things up quickly, or at least they're trying to. Throw into the box. High little floater there by Luna Kazem, and it just goes out. So Kazem tries to get her foot on it, but does nothing but hit a little pop-up in the middle of the field. Goes up, becomes a goal kick one more time for the Bobcats. 13 minutes gone in this first half. Cypress strolling through the park. Saddleback, well, while they've been in the park, they've done a little more fishing than anybody else. Taking it across, shot right by the corner, and finally Cypress says, Mr. Pavlovich, we stepped it up just then. And Cypress will get their first corner. So you will watch the ladies in light blue and or gray come down. They will keep 2 defense people back. Actually, a defense person and a midfielder will stay back. On this corner. Watch Vincent on the backside. She comes in. That's a header by Vincent off. So Vincent was there. Ball goes down, cleared out, and quickly just stopped there. And that's where you talk about coming up on a nice play by Perez. Perez takes it back into the box, and we get a whistle by the referee. A fast-moving 15 minutes in this first half. Saddleback, Santiago, Cypress, Orange Coast in the top 12 of rankings. That's the OEC. That conference that if Corey Nealon were here, as he will be tomorrow for Saddleback football, will tell you that the southern section is the best section, be it the OEC or when you talk about the SCFA, the southern section in the SCFA will be the most difficult sections to look at. Saddleback has a very good chance in football playing tomorrow, and they also have a great chance the week afterwards. And, of course, the traditional teams are going to be talked about all the time. Fullerton College, Mount Sac, teams that we're all familiar with. Bobcats making a run. Nobody wants to stop. Off the top of the post. Almost there on a beautiful run right there by McKenna Pugh, who let it go with that left foot, and if it goes down, they're up 1-0. Try to get there quickly. Say he does. She goes down, and it will be against the Chargers. Partial parents down in the grandstands cheering for their team. Can hear him say it's about time, and yet the referee calls it fairly all the time. It's that physicality. He's going to look the way they play. If you play the ball, foot is there first, and you are playing the ball, not just foot there, but you're playing the ball, there's going to be no call against you. If you take out body, even though you get the foot there, but you're taking out body at the same time, and the contact is previous to foot touching, that will be called on you. Play across the middle. Penaloza gets a nice little bounce. I was going to wait for a second because she blocked it, but then it dropped by her feet with two Bobcats waiting to pounce on it. Once again, the Bobcats on an attack as the ball goes out, so that should be a throw-in for the Cypress Chargers. 0-0. 3 versus 1 or 1 versus 3 in the OEC. And if you're Cypress, as much as I say maybe you won't win the conference, yeah, you will go up in power rankings if you beat Saddleback today. And you will also go up in the rankings in the OEC. So when they seed everybody for playoffs, you may get a opposition team that is maybe somebody you've already beaten during the year, or somebody who plays a familiar game that you have seen during the year, which would give you an advantage once you get in the playoffs. Yeah, you'll have Southern Section winners going up and Northern Section winners playing for the state championship. Not necessarily what we all think should be done here for a competition in the 3C2A. Ball comes off. Cypress clears it out, looking for an open space, and that's all they head for, is an open space. Taken back in the middle with a big foot, Samantha Arce, who hasn't touched the ball often, but Samantha is an excellent player. A lot of defense by Samantha. Doesn't have any points this season. Over the top. And so if you're a Bobcat fan right now, you're feeling energetic. You're feeling happy. Not only is it Halloween and you could have a sugar high, but your team is playing well here in this first half. 0-0 on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Once again, Bobcats looking to go. Trying to go on the far side of the field. Hannah Allen will pick it up and throws it in quickly. You love what Hannah does there. She finds a loose ball, picks it up, throws it in for the Bobcats. Doesn't lay around. Trapped. Can we see if there's a counter by the Chargers? Trying to find that counter. Hitting for the far side of the field. And just nothing there for Jasmine De La Torre, who goes over there, can't catch up with it. Action back and forth. And this is a thing you'll find from these two teams. Well coached. The women buy into the systems. Do they think somebody's a star? No, they think their teams are good. And that's why these teams are some of the top teams in the United States, and definitely the top teams in Southern California and California in general. The Bobcats, the Chargers, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Don't forget Saddleback Bobcat football tomorrow here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Bobcats trying to make another run. Turn the corner, looking across the middle. No one is home. And when you looked at that coming across the middle, you were hoping somebody there. McKenna Pugh looking for a little help when she crossed that one. And we're going to get another. Well, let's see if we get two. So once again, BJ, who normally substitutes a lot, has allowed Cypress to dictate the many players on the field so far. So Cypress with Naomi Lee in the middle. Brianna Briggs, the midfielder who, this is somebody too that is a midfielder, you'll see her all over the field. So even though we designate roles for these players, there is many times that a defender could be a forward on the next play. A midfielder could drop back and be a defender, which midfielders are. Or that midfielder could be the attacker, even though the setup is stay at the 50, but hey, if you get a run, the ball's on your foot, take it. Bobcats once again trying to get across the middle. Collision in the box, incidental contact, nothing called. Going down the right, trying to get something going on. Back over to the far side. Hannah Allen tracks it down. Gives a little slide. Cypress now with an advantage. Once again, BJ's defense comes up quickly to make that attack slowed down. And this is what you love about the Bobcats. Fundamentally sound. Set things back up. Take it back in the middle. 1-on-4 is what you get. And, of course, if you're Cypress, you find it, take it back around, and that's Vincent who gets everything going up. Going down the middle, trying off a foot. Briggs tops it, tries to take it back to Briggs. Briggs can't handle it, and Cypress comes up with it. Briggs was standing there watching, hoping the ball would come her way. And it was De La Torre was hoping that she could get it to her. But it'll be a throw-in for the Cypress Chargers. Taken out. And that will go back to the Bobcats here on Sportsnet, USA.net. $21 to go in this first half. And if you're saying which way is the field leaning, well, we're going to say it's leaning from your left to right on your computer screen because the aggressors have been the Bobcats. Yet the defense for Cypress has been solid. As soon as I say that, Cypress counters, trying to make a run. Naomi Lee takes it, runs into a brick wall, drops it off. Shot off the post, missed. That's two. Balls down, scrum on the bottom, and again, Vincent lets it fly. It hits the post, it comes out, and it dances in the box. And nobody found a partner to dance with. The Chargers had their chance. And, of course, when you're going against Macy Pugh, like I've already said, 0.85. Macy's got 4 shutouts this season for the Bobcats. And if you say, hey, wait a minute, McKenna Pugh, Macy Pugh? Yeah, that's right. The sisters are both playing down here at Saddleback College. And right now, the family's going, it was the perfect choice. Look where we're at. Not in the mix. We are the mix. Cypress, again, sits back with roughly 4, but it's basically 2 defenders, 2 midfielders that will drift backwards the way you look at it. So what you've got is when somebody goes to throw in the ball, I love it. They'll walk up like 10 extra steps. You know, it's like sort of cutting in line at a ride at an amusement park. You know, you look behind you and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there." Each team has been around the net. Each team has gotten one off a post or the top of the net. So you can tell here on Halloween, it's not going to be luck that wins it. It's going to be that strange goal that goes in and somebody walks away with a victory that they talk about till the end of the year. Bobcats making a run. Push from behind. That is a penalty. And should see a yellow card. Nobody's getting booked on that one. Emily Perez doesn't get booked as Saeed is still down on the ground. A little surprised on that one. Didn't even turn around and say to the defender, "Come over and talk to me." Which you will see referees do that when they don't book somebody. They will just talk to them and say, "Hey, take it back a step." 17:50 to go here in the first half. We're sitting at 0. It's Saddleback 0, Cypress 0. OEC Women's Soccer here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So we'll see once again what sort of play BJ works. Everybody stops. In, head, over the top of Penaloza, and then player went down into the net from Cypress, got pushed from behind inadvertently. She got pushed from behind and went into the post. They straighten up the net. She gets up, and the athletic trainer will walk off the field once again. Can't say enough about the athletic trainers for all the community colleges. They are the ones that take care of these young student athletes. And they really do care about the physical aspect, the mental aspect of all these players, be it women or men that play the game of soccer or any other games or participation here at Saddleback College. Briggs says, "Enough of this tomfoolery on the field. I'm going to clear the ball out so we can get running again." Briggs going down the middle. Slowed down a little, and the ball gets put there. If Brianna keeps running, if you're a Charger fan, it may be her going in all by herself. So Irvine Valley won their match today. So Irvine Valley now 3-6. They beat Santa Ana, who's now 0-10 in soccer for the women. The men's team from Santa Ana is struggling also. But when you talk about Santa Ana soccer, realize back-to-back state championships, and they had national championships. Yes, they were one of the top teams going back 10 to 15 years ago for Santa Ana soccer. Across the middle, headed out quickly by your Chargers. Chargers trying to keep the Bobcats out of that 30-yard range when you watch them. Nobody's walked in and been on top of Penaloza with a shot yet in this match here in the first half. Looks like BJ is actually going to bring in a couple substitutions now, as Kennedy Cole is going to come in. And next to Kennedy Cole is going to be Morgan Pullman. So Kennedy Cole and Morgan Pullman come in. Holiday comes out along with Reese Zarzana. So that was not Zarzana, my mistake. That was Hannah Allen. So a couple substitutions finally by BJ as he brings them out with a little over 14 minutes to go. Again, an inadvertent handball. Rocket shot from outside. And it goes out. You see those sort of shots come out and you sit there, Jessica Vincent just said, as a midfielder, I'm gonna let one fly. I'm going to show the crowd. Put one up in the third row, even though there's no grandstands back there. Sitting at 0. And yes, that's what you would expect in this confrontation. Make the turn, going down. Saeed looking to cross it. Crosses the far middle. Timing shot is what you need to do, and that's when you overstep it. And if you're Cypress, you get that break from a player breaking. And just like basketball, you will see dribblers take that timing dribble. Sometimes for soccer, if it's on your left foot and you're somebody who likes to kick with the right foot, you try to stutter step to get that timing down. And you can hear Cypress from across the way. The coaches are yelling, don't overcommit on plays. It's an important setup. When you got coaches, you can hear them across the side. Me, you could hear it. You could probably hear me any time of the day. I'm not loud. But when you hear these coaches, you know what they're saying. Another shot. Penalosa gets the sweet little hop. So she easily handles it. Little push down, and that's going against your Bobcats. And you may say to yourself, wait a minute, she got pushed on. Yeah, but just like you'll see in the other game, not football, but football, where an offensive player goes to go and that defensive player drags them and tries to drag them down with you, that's what happened on that play. So Cypress will get that free kick. Got about 10 minutes to go, maybe a couple minutes of stoppage time here in this first half on SportsNetUSA.net. Mr. Ed Ford should be with me at halftime and then stick around during the rest of this game here on SportsNetUSA.net. And tomorrow, make sure you tune into the Saddleback football game, because between Ed Ford, Ryan Osborne, and Corey Nalen, they should explain the entire playoff scenario that starts tomorrow in football. Between the three of them, they could write a encyclopedia on the SCFA. The 3C2A. So make sure you tune in for that game tomorrow here on SportsNetUSA.net. Cypress trying to make a move. Nice steal. You've got to like that. Put the foot on the ball and make the turn. That was Kay Biller doing it. Making that one, and all she does is come up, put the foot on the ball, stop the ball. She controls it and takes it away. Of course, Albert Robles on the air tomorrow as East LA takes on Bakersfield. And I had the pleasure of seeing Bakersfield last week. You want to see a quarterback that nobody's talking about? If you get an opportunity, watch that game tomorrow on SportsNetUSA.net. The quarterback at East LA, the quarterback at Bakersfield. Two players that don't get much mention, but are excellent community college football players. Cypress keeping it in the zone. Over the top and out. Goal kick for the Bobcats here on SportsNetUSA.net. And then make sure you stay in tune. Go to the homepage at Sportsnet to see what games are coming up. We do a variety of different sports, so you may get a little water polo, a little volleyball. I know East LA volleyball's coming up. So not only soccer, not only the other football, but a variety of different games. Make sure you check that homepage here at SportsNetUSA.net. Well, we'll see if either team can make a surge in the final 10 here. Briggs was underneath it, couldn't control it. Goes down, gets hit, no call. Right now, it's more like kickball in the middle of the field. Somebody wants to make a run. Nobody's been able to make a run here. Bobcats looking. Turn. Nice little steal. We get a call on that one. Surprised that we get a whistle. Little body, a lot of foot, and the referee says, now let's start it all over with 7:41 to go. Here in this first half, sitting at 0. Cypress in the blue-gray or the gray-blue or the gray or the blue, depending on what my eyes tell me. And Saddleback in their traditional home colors. Throw in with the Bobcats. Can't wait to go back to Cypress and find out that it was some different color than I'm talking about. So BJ says, well, it's time, Mark, to change things again. So Milana McLean now comes in the game. Milana's got 10 points. She's got 4 goals and a couple assists. And like I said, this is what makes this Bobcat team so good. It's the variety of scores you have on this team. Not 3 or 4, but 10 deep when you look at them. Nice save on the outside. Down. And so once again, a great save. And we'll see as there is no conversation. This is amazing. There's been no conversation by the referee as the player is down. Now he should say, okay, come back over and talk with me. And there's the yellow card. First card of the game. And we talked about this being a physical match out there. That's against Perez, the defender, who puts a shoulder down. And most football players for that other game of football would be proud on that one. And of course, when somebody gets up and starts walking like me, we know they're hurt. I'm just old. But when a youth walks like the old guy does, well, they'll let you know. Get taken down, take the shock from behind. Turf does not give, people. Even if you've got padding down there, turf does not give. Artificial turf is what I'm talking about. Into the middle, going up, headed out by Cypress. Off the thing. Once again, nice little play there by Herrera, who came up, stood in front of it for Cypress, and just took the brunt force of that shot. And that's what Herrera does. That's why she plays out well. That's why she's an excellent midfielder. It's going to stay with the Chargers. And we'll see if there's any stoppage time or very little stoppage time. Some referees will look at this in the first half and say, it's not significant. I won't add it on. Up and out. This is where you make the run. Nice little move by McLean. was her against 3 as a Bobcat. She goes back out there. She gets it, drops it off. She's going to take back in the middle. Penaloza was in the right place at the right time because I actually thought when that was struck that it was going to go over the top of Penaloza. She waited, saw at the highest apex, judged it, went up, and an excellent save by her. And then when Ryan Osborne calls soccer, some of the shots he doesn't call shots on goal. Gotta like Naomi Lee out there controlling the field for Cypress. Cross the far side, just out of the reach. And there was Lee down in the box looking to get that header here on Sportsnet, USA.net. 3:05 to go here in the first half. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Cypress trying to find something. Go, Naomi Lee on the far side, turning the corner. Should take it back through the middle. She doesn't. Ball goes out. It should be a goal kick, which it is. Saddleback, San Francisco, Sierra, Folsom, Santiago Canyon, Cypress. Those are the top 7 in the power rankings here in the 3C2A for women's soccer. And the power rankings come about. Basically, it's an RPI system set up for soccer, and that's how you get the power rankings. And that's why they will be important when the playoffs start. Cleaned out. See, can it be 1-on-2? It is. Make one move. Up and out if you're Cypress. When in doubt, take it up and out from a soccer perspective. Never leave it on the middle of the field. Take it to your additional helper, which is the sidelines. Missed. Down, and that's where you need to make the play. Kick, who to go off of. It is a corner for the Bobcats. That play was all made by Milana McLean, who decided not to give up on the play and went completely down the field, got a foot on it. And so we're at the 2-minute mark. And so BJ's decided, I'm going to make a change again. I'm going to bring Holiday back into the game. You look at Holiday, 7 goals, 4 assists. That gives her 18 points for the season. And you're going to watch her stay at the top of the box when this one comes in. Everybody on the goal line. In the middle. Bodies around. Ball's in the air. And we're going to get Jocelyn down low. Therefore, they're going to nullify that corner kick. And it goes back to Cypress. Saddleback looking to try to do something again, but Cypress has played them well in this first half here on SportsNetUSA.net. Off the toe. Control it. Take it deep. Briggs go to chase it down for Cypress. Looking across the middle. They decide because Briggs is there, they take it up and out. So a good shot every once in a while, not a shot that you get overly when a goalie has got a hand on it. Couple shots that hit the top of the net. So they were poster boys or poster ladies in this game that you thought for a second if it bounces right, we could be tied at 1 or it could be 2-0. So far that has not happened in this first half. Cypress making their move. Naomi Lee, stutter steps, tries to drop in the middle. Doesn't do anything with it. Lee says, okay, well, I'll drop it off and we'll take it over to Kangas. Kangas puts a foot in it, but it doesn't get there either. Down low, Briggs is looking for it, but Brianna couldn't get to it. So 3 Chargers after it, and yet it's still sitting here 0-0. Well, we're into stoppage time right now here on SportsNetUSA.net. The referee looks up at the board, waits for the throw in. And that will go to the Bobcats. Never signaled about how much stoppage time. Here on SportsNetUSA.net. And that's it. That takes us to the end of the first half. As we come to the end of the first half, it's Cypress 0, Saddleback 0, here on SportsNetUSA.net. Don't forget Saddleback football tomorrow here on SportsNetUSA.net. Matt Rogers, Corey Nealon, Ryan Osborne, Ed Ford will be on the call for that game tomorrow. So make sure you tune in and watch that. Saddleback needs to win. And like I said, all of the gentlemen involved will explain the playoff scenario while you're watching Saddleback football tomorrow. And then East LA tomorrow takes on Bakersfield, as Albert Robles will have that call. That too here on SportsNetUSA.net. We're sitting here at 0. And now the golden tones of Mr. Ed Ford are getting ready to come on the air.
Gee, if my microphone wouldn't be stuck behind everything.
I was going to say, I was waiting for you to just say, I'll get down here and talk as loud as you do, Mark. It'll probably pick me up. So,
well, as we always do, we want to tell you what's going on nationally. And this is the United Soccer Coaches of America, and this is their poll for D3 women in the junior college ranks. So there's a D1, there's a D2, D3. All the California schools would be D3 because they don't have scholarships like the NJC2A teams do. And it's still Delta College #1, and as we always remind people, it's not the Delta College that we call in California San Joaquin Delta. It is Delta College of Michigan. They're #1 with a 12-0 record. Saddleback College is #2. They moved up from #3, 10-1-3 coming into the game. Folsom Lake dropped because they had a tie, I believe, last week. I'm not sure what they did last night. And Cypress moved up from 5 to 4. So basically, we have the #2 team in the nation versus the #4 team in the nation. So a top 5 matchup. After that, it's Dallas College. City College of San Francisco has moved up. They moved up a couple of slots. College of the Canyons is in there. Fresno, Mount Sac, of course. Mount Sac has to be in things. They don't want to be left behind. Then it's Lake Tahoe, and that rounds up your top 10. Then Evergreen, Modesto, Santa Monica having a good year, and we've seen them in the playoffs previously. Suffolk County, San Bernardino Valley College, SBVC is at 15. Ventura is 16. Brookdale Community College is 17. Then Genesee College, and then Irvine Valley. Feather River takes the 20th spot, and Irvine Valley won today. So that's what's happening nationally. And as Mark pointed out to you, that if you look at the power rankings, you have Saddleback way up there, and of course they're leading the standings in the OEC. So we have 2 really fine teams playing today, and I think one of the things you'll see today why we have a 0-0 score, Mark, is because usually teams will underestimate how fast the Bobcats are.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, as we've seen, because we've watched both teams, Cypress is also very quick of foot. So the speed differential between these two is not very big, if at all there is one.
Yeah, and I think that'll show up when we get to the state playoffs too, Ed, which I happen to mention you and Corey and other people here on SportsNetUSA.net. When you look at the state championships, you've often stated, well, when we get to the actual playoffs, that maybe you ought to go south versus north, and do that. Not have southern section or northern section. Just take, if you're going to take 12 teams, take 6 northern teams, 6 other teams, and just start a general playoff instead of saying, well, we've got to make sure we get northern teams and southern teams into the playoffs. And I know you've mentioned that more than once, so has Corey, and said, hey, let's take the 10 best teams, no matter where they come from.
Well, I am a radical when it comes to that kind of stuff, so that's why they never listen to us. But I think that would make it interesting. Also, you pointed out about football. Saddleback College, the Bobcats, their football team is on a roll. They've won some big games, and tomorrow here on SportsNetUSA.net, it will be the Bobcats against Southwestern, the Jaguars. So a battle of the Cats. And also, hey, why don't you just come and watch the game in person? Plenty of seats. This is a great stadium. Lots of good food, big scoreboard, and there's plenty of parking. So no reason why you can't come down here. And, hey, you can also watch the SportsNetUSA.net feed on the big screen. So you have everything.
Yeah.
But Saddleback needs to win their next 2 games. If they win the next 2 games, they have a good shot in the playoffs. But the way things look, Mark, going to take the top-ranked teams, top 6, the top 2 get a bye in the first round, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you win your, some people call it a conference, some people call it a league, whatever you want to call it. If you win that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be one of the top 2 or even 3 teams. You could win your conference / league and still be the number 5 seed.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, because I know you and Ryan Osborne were emailing each other. Ryan sent you an entire scenario on what it was. Then Corey got involved. Both of them tomorrow with Ed Ford will be here on SportsNetUSA.net. And even Corey and Ryan have said, this is not how it was explained at the beginning of the season. And yet, once again, because some of us have been critical of the organizations that do this. And it looks like, again, somebody is getting set up to not make the playoffs. That should be in the possible playoffs. Like we've seen how many years? We've been around this so many years. It seems like every year somebody is getting wazooed, even though we think they should have made the playoffs.
Yeah. I would think, though, all the conference winners are going to make the playoffs. As I said, you may not have, you might have 1 and 2 with the best records, the best RPIs or whatever we want to call them, power rankings. But, that third conference winner that maybe has a lower record, they may not be the 3rd seed. They may be the 4th seed. They may be the 5th seed. And up north, I'm not going to say it's a mess, but I'm not sure they're going to, because the rule used to be 5 and 5, you can go to a bowl game, whether it's bowl game or playoff. Up north, I'm not sure they're going to have enough teams for the bowls. They may have to have an American division team play one of the national conference teams with a lower win total, like a 5 and 5, or they just say, well, you're 4 and 6, we'll let you in anyway. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm glad it's been explained, and it's up there on the 3C2A website. It should have been up there a long time ago, so everybody would know what's going on. We'll just see what happens. But as I said, Saddleback, they beat Southwestern. They'll be in a good position. Then they'll have a showdown game with El Camino for who wins that conference. And as you well know, Southwestern really surprised everybody at the beginning of the year. I mean, they had some very poor seasons prior to that. Even I think the last one they were in the American division wasn't even a good season. And they moved them to the national division, and they pretty much was, that was an automatic win for everybody. But they came out this year. They surprised people. They beat them. But I think now they're kind of running out of gas. They're getting kind of tired. Maybe it's injuries. They might have not as – I know they don't have a big a roster as a Fullerton or a Mount Sac or a Riverside, so that could be a factor. I think a couple of weeks ago I looked at the roster, and I think they had 66 players on the roster. One reason why I think they did better they're doing better is they went outside of the area, outside the state, and got – I think they have like 10 or 12 kids from Arizona, and the Arizona community colleges don't play football anymore. So those young men who want to play football have to go someplace. And, we don't want to turn it into something that's just all about money, but I think some of these teams that aren't doing well are going to have to realize that you have players that have nowhere to go in Arizona, not a lot of opportunities in New Mexico. And really in Nevada, there's only one community college. College of Southern Nevada. Mm-hmm. So you've got a lot of football teams, high school football teams there. Where do those kids go? Well, they're going to Modesto or someplace like that. So I think some of these teams need to do some more recruiting. Saddleback has some out of the area players, but some of the teams that are traditionally doing poorly need to start thinking about going outside of their comfort zone in their local high schools and getting some out-state players, out wherever. I mean, you look at some of these soccer teams, and that's why the Dallas team in the NJC2A is so good. They won, 6 men's championships in a row. It was not this year, but the year before. They had players from Italy. They had players from Spain. They had players from South America. They had players from Mexico. They had players from Australia. They just had players from all over the world. And they don't have scholarships, so how do you get those players there? Fullerton College for years and years in football had guys from Florida, New York. You well know, Mark. You were doing those games. Ohio, wherever it might be, Virginia, a lot of kids from the Richmond area. I mean, I think teams just have to do that now if they want to be more competitive. I mean, there's no sense in having a team and you go out there week in, week out and just get clobbered by everybody. I mean, what if that's your strategy, just drop football.
Yeah, I agree with you on
other
that
sports.
One. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Ed. I mean, if you're going to, not saying that everything's about winning, but at this stage of the game, everything's about winning. And I agree with you on that last one. Hey, maybe some of these teams, them, we've talked about more than once. Compton College, hate to keep picking on them, but maybe they need to just look and say, hey, these are our 4 major sports. Because you've told me about other community colleges that do 3 sports, and that's it. They don't do everything out there.
Even here at Saddleback, they had a very good women's golf program. They dropped it. Of course, everybody's adding flag football, but sometimes teams have to make those, and schools have to make those decisions to go with something that's a little more viable and that people would be interested in. Also, if you have good players that are on teams that aren't doing very well, that maybe traditionally lose season after season after season, you're not doing that athlete any good if they are wanting to go to some place at a bigger level, better level, whatever you want to say, Division 2, Division 3, or an NAIA school, but not a lot of those are playing football. You're going to get ignored because somebody will just look at that team is terrible. So you're associated with a team that isn't good, even though you might be a very good player. So if you're going to make the commitment to do it, do it. If you don't want to put any money into it, that's fine. I understand it. Times are not, nobody's throwing money out the window at people anymore. Budgets are being cut nationally, locally, and statewide. But if you're not going to be competitive, stop playing that sport. You still need athletics. Put more money into water polo or soccer or basketball or whatever it might be, beach volleyball, or try something exotic like Orange Coast with rowing and things like that. But don't sit there with a football team that loses year after year after year after year, and you got to get all the equipment for the kids and the young men, and that's ridiculous. It's a very expensive sport. If you don't want to win, you don't really want to do anything with it, drop it.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about Saddleback, how they did it. The team that we see walking on the field now is Cypress College, no football team.
Yeah, they dropped football decades ago.
Yeah. So they made a choice because of who they were competing against and the area they were in. Tomorrow, though, make sure you're here with sportsnetusa.net, or if you come out here, realize there's apps you could actually watch the game while you're out here, because tomorrow is Upset Saturday. Somebody who should lose is going to lose tomorrow. And Corey, Ryan, and I ourselves, we're going to have a long discussion at the end of the week about who lost when they shouldn't have lost. But speaking of football, well, football. Second half, the men, we'll talk about you later. It's now the best teams in the nation. Saddleback, Cypress. Second half, Saddleback looking to stay number one. Cypress looking to climb up the fruit chain here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ed, the old guy, happy to bring you women's community college soccer here on SportsNetUSA.net. 0-0. Ed Ford's going to stick around with me in the second half. And like Ed said, we have seen a lot of Cypress and a lot of Saddleback this season. Naomi Lee trying to make a run. Shot, easy little pickup, an easy save. And on shots like that, Ryan Osborne would say, Macy, I'm not giving you a save. That was just, chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream, Corey Nalen. Ed, you talked about these two teams, though. And yeah, I did say both of them would be there. But out of all the teams you've seen, are they cream of the crop when we watch these two teams compared to everybody else we've seen this year?
The only other team I would throw in there would be Santiago Canyon.
Okay.
Santiago Canyon, they are very good. They've won numerous state championships. Yes, that was many years ago, but I think this season they're kind of making a statement of, hey, yeah, that's why we were champions all those years. And if you underestimate us this season, we're going to burn you, because we saw Santiago Canyon come out here and win.
Yeah. Santiago Canyon 5-1-2, Ed. Orange Coast, who's in second, is 5-1-3. So that could flip quickly depending on what those teams did today. Corner kick for the Bobcats. Just starting the second half here on SportsNetUSA.net. BJ with a variety of plays. Goes deep. Right there. Ball was there. It's in. And so a short shot. BJ has it dropped, and it just dropped right in to the net. As we'll see if that was Hannah Allen who came out with it. Not quite sure.
What a way to start.
And no, that was the number one player on this Bobcat team. I should have known better. Saeed comes through for another goal. Now you know why she's been knocked down so many times in this game. 1-0. The Bobcats to start the second half. Set corner play by BJ. That's about the fifth one he has run today with set plays, not all of them corners. And you can tell this is a coach that's getting ready for the playoffs. Cypress trying to answer. Back door. Couldn't get it in there. So the Bobcats won. Chargers 0 here on Sportsnet USA. So she ends up getting it. You heard that it's Saeed in there. This is now her 6th goal. She's now got 15 points for the season. 6 goals, 3 assists. One of the top scorers here in the OEC. And of course, she takes it again. She'll make a run. She can score a busload. Counter now for Cypress. Trying to drop it deep, gets headed out. Again, this is where BJ's defense steps up big, Ed, because you can watch the 4 ladies get back quickly for him on the defensive side. Hannah Allen, who I first thought might have scored. That would have been her first goal. Up and over, short.
And Mark, quite a move by Allen there.
Yeah.
Get past the Charger defender.
Yeah, Hannah's one of those defensive people, when you look at her, can make the move and everything else. Love the way Hannah's right now. She's back in the midfield range, but you'll watch her get up there and be more of a forward. Once again, Saeed takes it, gives it off to Allen. Allen looked to go with a give and go. Goes down. It's going to be a foul against Cypress.
Is she going to come out? Saeed going to come out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And we've already said that BJ has already run so many different plays. Once again, we'll see if they run a play here with her. She's got Holiday up on her right. We'll see if she drops it off to Holiday. Holiday will give it back to her, or will Holiday take the kick? Line drive. So Holiday runs by it. Saeed runs by it, and Hannah Allen hits a line drive, Ed, at the top of the goal.
I saw something like that in one of the community college football games last weekend, where the kicker and they were going to do an onside kick, but it was actually one of the other guys on the line that came up and kicked the ball. So wasn't successful, but hey, you can try those things once in a while.
Well, you'll see BJ, and guys, I hate to say it, to the men, I see more set plays by the women than I do on the men's side, especially with this Bobcat team. Penaloza picks that one up easily. Easy. There's goal number 2. Penaloza misplays it.
Wow, Mark, let's see if we got the replay on that.
See, it comes out. Penaloza says, I'm indecisive. And you know what? When you don't want to pick up the check, the person at the table next to you will, and you get into the basket.
Yeah, just like the big jack-o'-lantern of chocolate there, right at the porch. Take as many as you want.
Yeah, I was going to turn. I was looking for that for a second. I thought, you know what? could go for a little chocolate right now. And here's where the Bobcats can flood you, Ed. They make 2, then next thing you know, 3 or 4 show up. Naomi Lee says, I'm going to stutter step. Takes it. 2 defenders on her, taken up and out. And this is what I love about it.
And yes, as you were saying, Mark, she was double teamed there at the end. But there for a while, there were 4 Bobcats that she had to get past. And the Bobcats' defense is really superb. Cypress, we've seen some great defense from them over the years, too. And right now, Saddleback just has the edge.
Yeah, and it really, on that last goal, you hate to put somebody out there, but it was a pitch shot in there. Up off the bar by Cypress. It could have been 2-1. Easy little chip shot, Ed. I tell you what, that's a Beckley into the hole.
Absolutely. Just how that stayed out, I don't know. It's like one of those putts. It hits the rim, spins around, and kicks off, and you don't get your birdie. And that was a birdie that should have dropped for them. Should be 2-1.
So it's 2 to an almost right now. As Cypress was there, had the shot. Well, do you get a triple dipper here on the far side?
That was triple teamed and still got off a shot.
Yeah, I tell you what, special player for this Bobcat team. You look at the way that young woman plays. 15 points this season. Well, now actually she's got 17 points this season. Because she's got 2 goals in this game. Cypress trying to find something, as it's been Bobcats in the first 11 minutes of the second half. And Ed, you talked about Cypress, and when we talked about him, you almost wonder when you start selling out against a team like Saddleback. I know you don't want to change your game up, but I just find 2 goals massive.
Yeah, it's massive when you're facing a team like Saddleback. If you're going up against, we're not going to name any names, but some other team that isn't doing as well outside your conference, then you don't have to change it because you could still get in the game. But Saddleback they have as much foot speed as Cypress, and the defense is just, they know how to double team, triple team.
And we'll see if BJ starts to extend his bench, which he will normally do in a game in the second half.
And that's another big factor when he extends the bench.
Ball laying there. Almost looked like it was going to be cherry-picking time right there for Doherty as Penaloza goes down.
Yeah, and that was a good reawakening by the Chargers there to stop that from being an easy goal and 3 down.
So Penaloza gets up, dances around, says, okay, I'm fine. Never like to see a student athlete get hurt. 2-0. It's the Bobcats they've come out of slumber here in the second half.
More, it's maybe they like scoring going in that direction more. I don't know.
In other words, you tell me the field is tilted?
I think the football team likes to score going to the north.
It's a magnetic pull. Get offsides on that.
Oh.
So Corey Nalen, Ryan Osborne, Matt Rogers, remember tomorrow, anything going right to left should be a score tomorrow for Saddleback. Ed Ford just predicted that, so you guys only have to watch half of the field tomorrow. Ball goes out. Once again, Briggs trying to make a play out there for the Chargers. They're going to go to the far side. They're going to bring it up. Should be. Stop. Thought there was going to be a cross. No cross. Now in the middle. Out of the side of the goal. Ed Ford. That is a shot from heaven.
Yes, it was.
So the Chargers said, okay, enough of the old guy and Ed talking about us. We're going to get back in the game. And Pugh had no way to stop that at all.
Well, that's why we mentioned that it's number 2 against number 4.
Again, people will yell handball. If it's inadvertent, if it doesn't take you to an advantage. Two to one. So no goals in the first half, 3 here in the first 15 minutes of the second half.
And another quick score by Cypress will totally change the complexion of the game with about 29 minutes left. A very long 29.
So throw in by your Chargers. Foot it out. Throw it back in by Peyton Dunbar. Touch. Left foot. Pugh goes down this time and cradles that one, maybe the same way she'll be cradling that bucket of chocolate tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net. Fun women's soccer here in the OEC. So much talent. So many good coaches. So we'll get a throw in by Biller. Oh, they're going to give a free kick. So they give it to Vincent as the goal came in there. I was waiting for that. Jessica Vincent scored for your Cypress Chargers to make it 2-1. They're looking to tie this game up. So 1 for Vincent, 2 for Saeed. Here comes the Chargers one more time here on SportsNetUSA.net. They got a lot of time and they feel like they're back in. Energized. Nice little play. Got to sneak in there and take it once in a while. Up and out. And that's what you do. You want to do. You just want to, if you have no momentum, take the momentum away. Vincent throws it deep. He's got the 1 goal. Gets taken out. Stays with the Chargers.
And Mark, you've talked so much about how many good teams you have in the OEC, and if you look at some of the other conferences, the only one that comes close in the women's going to be South Coast Conference. But their teams aren't ranked as high, except Long Beach is way up there. They're in they've got the number 3 position.
Yep. Yeah, 14-1-0, Ed.
Mount Sac at 15, and also Pasadena's in there, and Chaffee. Yes, Chaffee plays in the South Coast Conference in soccer.
Yeah, and we got to see the Long Beach City men play against Cypress. Shot the middle. Pugh goes down. Player inadvertently goes over the top of her for Cypress. No interference, no foul call. Nice no call by the officials.
And at this moment, the Cypress Chargers men's team is hosting the Saddleback Bobcats over there at Cypress in a men's game.
And the men from Cypress desperately need a win. They lost the other night to Fullerton. They played very conservative offense. They looked for that 0-0 game or that 1-0 game. And when a penalty kick was called against Cypress, you could feel the fact that all of a sudden they changed. Christian changed his attitude and said, let's get more aggressive. And at that stage of the game, it was just too late. Cypress keeps it. Everybody was waiting for a whistle. Cypress finally gets a whistle. And, of course, everybody's saying why, as Purvis is in the game. I love the way the young woman plays the game out there at forward for your Cypress Chargers.
Well into the second half of play. It's Saddleback nothing, Cypress nothing. That's the men's score. That game is at Cypress College.
Cypress women a little off the side. Pugh has it very easily. And really the men's division is open. Cypress dropped backwards. Fullerton moved up. Power rankings will have a lot to do with playoffs on the men's side. Cypress looking to try and get the ball rolling. They need one more. They need that bounce that they're looking for. And, of course, when you're Saddleback, you just say, I refuse. McKenna Pugh goes down. And so McKenna was hoping she'd get a call. So were the parents here from Saddleback. Nice turnout again today for women's soccer. Even some fans from Cypress across the way. They travel well, Cypress College.
Let's just hope they're not over there saying, where the heck is Mark and Albert and Ed? They're supposed to be streaming this game.
Yeah. Where are those guys? And, of course, Saeed all by herself, Ed. She's already got the 2 goals that the Bobcats have scored. She's taking 1-on-3 down the field. And you could hear the parents yelling, she needs some help out there. As it slowly just trickles out. And if you're Cypress, well, Peyton Dunbar just says, I'll let it go out.
Peyton Dunbar, a couple weeks ago, made that got that fantastic assist.
Yeah.
Collided with the opposing player, decided not to give up on the play, got back up, got to the ball, passed it, goal for Cypress.
Yeah. I would still call that the play of the year with what I've seen. It just was one of those where you love the fact that a player doesn't quit on a play. Drop it over the middle, clear it out. Brianna can't catch up with it. Briggs was trying to. She's out in the middle there. And this is where, when we talked about this, Eric Huarte and Randy Martinez for Cypress, these players can be given a name, but they'll be someplace else on the field. And who gets the card? Are we giving it to?
Yellow.
Yep, and that is to the Bobcats. So, was trying to figure out who may get that on that one. And they gave that to McKenna Pugh. McKenna thought she had got roughed up a little. Pugh gets that yellow card for your Bobcats. Trying to make the move for Cypress, couldn't do it. Layla Valle trying to see what she can do out there for Cypress. Of course, you look at Layla this season, 7 points. She's got a couple goals. So everybody but one will move up for the Chargers. Deep throw in. Lays there and clear it. It'll be a foot race if it takes the right bounce. And this is where you need to take your time. If you're going to point it. Nice header. Looking to try and get it to Briggs. Briggs has it go over the fact. Goes back off of Briggs' foot. Take it back over the middle. That goes to De La Torre. De La Torre kicks it out. Goes the outside for Chargers. And it's going to be a throw-in for Cypress. So, and here the coach is yelling, want to get a deeper throw-in on this one. And that's what you get with the great deal of error. It's sitting there. Just could not get any energy on the ball as it was a deep throw-in. As you could hear Randy yelling, you've got to throw it in deeper. Offsides. And good call by the lines judge on that, because it definitely was an offsides, being 2 or 3 feet ahead of the defensive person. So Vincent, who had a chance for a header, would have given her to Ed, just did not have enough oomph the last time down here for Cypress. Would have been a 2-person show with 19:09 to go here in this second half. Briggs is going to come out. So Brianna Briggs goes out. And for Saddleback, Zerzana goes out. I like Brianna Briggs. I think she brings something to this team for Cypress. Cross middle. Nice pass. Taken there by Pugh. And I tell you what, Layla Valle was there if the ball was a half an inch shorter. Be her against Pugh as the tender. Lots of arm. No whistle. Saeed says, you know what, this is getting out of hand. I think I'll take matters into my own feet. Little drop shot going down. Gonna walk it down the corner. And you can't let somebody rough you up and take the ball away. And talk about a fan base that sees Saeed get their foot on the ball and wonder why it didn't go in the goal. I love that heavy sigh just said, ah.
She must have hit it off her foot the wrong way, because that was way right.
Gotta love the fan reaction when they've got a young woman who's as talented as her. Looking to find somebody open. Nice defense. Trap somebody, use the sideline. Force them up and out. Goes back in the middle. Vincent looking to try and get it across. Vincent does. Lee's got it. Lee looks at Vincent, says, hey, go down the field. Vincent does for Cypress, goes back to Lee. Go in the middle, try to make a turn, can't. Good defense by the Bobcats as they come in and stop it. Easy pickup for Pugh. As she just goes down, we're not going to call that a shot on goal for Macy Pugh. Macy under 1 goal a game coming into this game. And she'll stay there even if that is the only goal she gives up today. Well, there was a flurry of goals, and now it has become quiet again. Saeed turns. It's a foot race. Her against a few defenders. She comes in the middle. She wanted to let it go. She's going to come back to her left. All by herself in the middle is Hannah Allen, up and over. Hannah's got 3 goals this season, and Hannah went, oh, it was so close.
Yep.
Hand gets on it.
From the shadows, but gets a hand on it, knocks it away.
Corner for Saddleback. And here, Ed, is where you've seen it today. BJ has used so many set plays on these corner kicks. He's getting his team ready for the playoffs. Up 2-1. Played 30 minutes in the second half. 3 goals in. Your Bobcats are on top. Saeed comes up quickly. She has somebody jump on her back. No call. Ball comes out. Cypress comes away. 3-on-3. Veer away for the individual. Drop it in the middle. Hopefully a person runs to the ball. Doesn't happen. Counter now for Cypress. For Saddleback counter. Make a turn. Goes down on your own. And we've got somebody down on the ground. So on the ground is Hannah Allen.
And earlier, Mark, she was kind of hanging back because I don't know if she got pushed or hit or something. There was, obviously she had some pain, discomfort in her shoulder. And this time she gets knocked down and it's a leg.
Ed, what you've got to like is you see a player from Cypress go over thinking that it's a leg cramp and basically, help her stretch the leg, which she didn't say it wasn't, it wasn't. You didn't see her say, let go of me. So that just shows you the sportsmanship between these teams.
But, of course, you always want the athletic trainer to really take a look at that because it could be something other than a leg cramp.
Yeah, it's like if you try to catch a softball, they'll bring you over 6 pounds of ice and stick in your hand just to make sure your hand isn't broken.
That's true. If you are crazy enough to try to stop a line drive softball with your bare hand.
Say the magic word was crazy. Here we go.
Well, I don't think I could have used the other words on the air.
Crazy's appropriate.
Crazy's appropriate.
And now you say, Cypress says, people have to run. This is what you want to do. You want to spread the field. Nice toe by Saddleback because that gets it out. Vincent takes it for Cypress. She's going to walk her way up, go back in the middle. Ball's going to come out. Slight header. Trying to get it back in the middle. Nobody there. Got to follow it up. Cut to the middle. And again, now you're seeing that Cypress team become much more physical as they trickle down in almost the last 10 minutes of this game. Down by 1, Lee turns, drops it off. off the head. Once again, Cypress has got to control it. Can't. Stops, looks. Defense comes up, makes a play. 11:52. Should be very little stoppage time. Of course, I said that in the first half. There was about 2 minutes.
Second half of the soccer game between Saddleback and Cypress. This is the men's game at Cypress. Chargers leading 1-0.
And that's the sort of game Cypress plays. The 1-0 games, we've seen it all season. And that's what they need to play, as they have Fullerton right on their heels, chasing them right now.
Yeah, and it's only there's only 7 minutes left, so the Bobcat men need to get it going. Of course, the Bobcat women here are in a little bit of a pickle with this shot.
So penalty shot, Ed, for Cypress. And the goalkeeper's got to keep the heels on the line. It's in. Tied at 2. Well, Ed, you said it was who? 2 against 4 in this match? That's how it's playing out. 2 against 4 in this match. Two. 10 minutes to go. We're going to get a substitution for Cypress. Luna Kazim going off the field. So Doherty should come back on. Cypress gets a long shot. Nice little shot that was taken to tie this game, to get back into this game. And then the penalty shot. So Vincent from way outside makes one. So Alyssa Kangas gets the penalty shot and makes it. So Kangas comes through for the Chargers. Here's the run. 3-on-4. Carrying it up. Flattened at midfield. And it goes, and here's the thing, Ed. I love when a player runs over another player and says, but my foot got on the ball. You never played the ball. You played the body is what you did. And that's why it's called. And who else would that be, Ed? Peyton Dunbar. As 2 go down, and that is going to be called against Saddleback. And Ed's already mentioned that Peyton probably had one of the prettiest assists in a soccer game we've seen. And you know what? She plays D1 women's soccer. That's how she plays out there. Looking for a defense person that plays well. Over the back, no whistle. It's a goal kick. And this is what you do in screening off players. You watch that edge, you go down the field, you step in front of them, you don't let the ball get in their way, and then you quickly go the other direction. Vincent tries to get to it, can't get there for Cypress, and it's picked up, and that's Holiday, who just says for the Bobcats, hey, can't take it away from me. Once again, they come up. Bobcats looking to get goal number 3. Go to Saeed right down the middle. She gets sandwiched. She continues. She lets it rip. It's to the right of the goal.
Either her jersey was being pulled. I hope it wasn't her hair on that play, but
yeah, but that would be fun to watch. I mean, you know.
Yeah, about as fun as it was a couple of years ago when the Pasadena player pulled the hair of one of the Bobcats and the bench is emptied.
Yeah, exactly. 6 minutes to go, plus stoppage time here in the second half. We're tied at 2. Vincent from far outside. Over the top again on a monster shot by your Chargers. Substitution coming in. And, of course, you get that monster shot from the far side, and you can hear already the parents going, come on, let's go.
Yeah, Chargers bring in 2, and nobody coming in for the Bobcats.
Yeah, interesting. This has been the difference in these first and second halves. Chargers substituted a lot in that first half. BJ stayed with whom was out there. Vincent dances with it. Has it taken away there. Makes her move. That's down the field. And, of course, when you look at Holiday, she says, I'll play with the best. Turn, we get a foul right there. And Jasmine De La Torre was just getting ready to take off as a Charger, and the whistle gets blown. Are we going to get a bench yellow card? Bench yellow card against Cypress. A little too much conversation going on. Eric was just chirping just a little too much on the sidelines for the Chargers. Kick, should have taken. Need the header, in, off the, did it go in?
I believe it did.
Wow, what a shot.
You can see the ball, yes, it goes
went
and it
in.
hits.
That was just a remarkable header. I thought it went outside the goal lead, and that was just one of the best plays this season here on Sportsnet USA.net. And I'm not sure, but I think that might have been McKenna Pugh that did that. The old eyes did not deceive me.
Eyes like an eagle.
And, you know, Ed, you got to give it to her. She's been beat up. She's looked like she said, hey, I haven't gotten a break. So McKenna Pugh with the go-ahead goal at the basically 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. So I'm going to give her the 42-minute mark on that. Saeed says, you know, let me track this down. I'll just finish things up. It's the Bobcats 3, the Chargers 2, here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And the smart play of up and out.
So McKenna says to her sister, I'll take care of it. I'll get goals in. You just stop anything that comes in your direction again. Cypress. 5 goals in this second half. So everybody that said, oh, it's 0-0, I'll turn it off. You made a big mistake here on SportsNetUSA.net. Pitch shot right there. Vincent over the back trying to keep it, and it's going to go out. That should go to the Chargers.
I'm a little surprised there wasn't a penalty there.
So we are at 2 minutes.
Yeah, our unofficial countdown has 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Chargers.
How much stoppage time?
What are you going to say? What's your guess?
Well, there's quite a bit for, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank when she went down.
So Ed will say, Ed.
90 seconds more.
Okay.
Once we get to, but who knows?
Yeah, with the referees, you're never quite sure. He may have a Halloween party to go to, so. Cypress needs to find a little happiness in a bottle right now. Everybody in the box, you person to person, you find somebody who's not marked right now. If you're Saddleback, you mark them with the throw-in. Ball comes down. Cypress needs to go and get it, not look at it. Need to get it in the air towards the goal. Again, Dunbar off her head. Nice little toe kick. Got to wait. Goalie was going to come out. And as a defense person, you need to know where your goalie's at. Penaloza gets that off. If she misses that, that's game. Lee turns on the far side, trying to keep it in. Takes it down. Needs somebody in blue-gray to go track it down. And it's going to be a goal kick. I think he said 1 minute. So we'll see, because he yelled over to the bench, and I thought he yelled 1 minute. He's looking at his clock. Pugh's there, off the side. One last run, maybe. Taken down on the backside. And you're looking for somebody as Green gets taken down from behind. Goes in there. All you want to do for Saddleback is keep it in play. Let the ball just play out. And if you're the Chargers, you need to make a run. Drop it, go and get the ball wherever you can find. If you're the Bobcats, take it in and up, not out and up. Peyton Dunbar tries to get it down deep. Got to control it. Make the turn. Look, there it goes away. Comes to the sideline. Foot race, and it goes, stays with. Referee saying, and a push from behind. And if you're Saddleback, you want to get up and just wander if you can. We're going to get a substitution. So Saddleback says, we'll play on Zarzana. Reese gets knocked down on that play.
I think it was Allen that got knocked down.
Oh, was it Allen?
Yeah, because she came out.
Okay.
I believe.
Hannah Allen. Yeah, you're right, Ed.
And she's been knocked down a lot this game. You know, I would like to see there be a definite, that everybody, the fans, the players all know that, okay, there's 1 minute of stoppage time or 90 seconds of stoppage time. I think sometimes they allow it to be too much, and then things get really a little too rough and too chippy because of the desperation. People know how much time they have left. I think you wouldn't have that kind of situation.
Holiday will take this free kick. Little punch shot. They'll walk it out, walk it to the corner, and that's the game. The Bobcats come up with a spectacular 3-2 victory over Cypress College. No goals in the first half. And yet Ed Ford comes on with little magical things going on there. We come up with 5. Before we go away, Ed, what happened in the men's game if you've got the men back up?
It is a final. Cypress shuts out the Saddleback men by a score of 1-0 that game at Cypress College. So a split between the men's and the women's for the Chargers and the Bobcats.
So the women drop, the men move up, may even out as they get ready for playoffs here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So the Bobcats end up winning this one 3-2, and we'll see what happens next time. Don't forget tomorrow, little Saddleback football here on Sportsnet, USA.net. East LA takes Bakersfield on Sportsnet, USA.net, and check the homepage for all the other games here on Sportsnet, USA.net, as your Bobcats come away with a victory over Cypress, 3-2 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
I think we should thank Pablo for being here today.
We will. Thank you, sir, for being out here. Look at the smile on his face, you know. And, Ed, it's always been fun to be here with you on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And our executive producer sitting behind us with the gun.
And the dark glasses.
And the dark glasses.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Tried to be in my best behavior.